Bhave is a landscape designer who has been along with the team of architecture and other technical staff working on various landscape projects since 1992. After he completed his masters in landscape architecture from the School of Planning and Architecture from New Delhi, they exclusively take up best combination of hard and soft space in an area of any magnitude. Today, Mr. Kalpak Bhave will speak on importance of landscape in design. So let's welcome Mr. Kalpak Bhave.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an opportunity by S to present our things to all of you. Thanks, S, for the same. So I'm basically an architect, and then I've pursued my master's in landscape from ISPA Delhi. And last 30 years, we have been practicing doing projects in India and overseas. Basically, we are doing majorly landscape projects, and some projects where architecture is supporting the landscape, like amusement parks and farmhouse. This is a project. I'll show you some of the different projects and what are the aspect of design. Like this is a resort landscape where we have done a Mirasol destination marriage in Daman. So you can see all these cars. There's an aerial photograph, and we had some old trees in this area, and visitors have to practically pass through the trees and reach the main hotel building. So we have given a total new look, and we have created this kind of an ambience, because in resorts the first impression is the last impression. When I enter the main property and reach the building, that entire time of say 1 minute or 2 minutes creates the entire impression of my project too in my mind. So this is a very critical space where a good landscape has to happen. And when I'm entering a restaurant and if certain dish is offered to me at a certain price, I should never feel it's expensive. I should feel it's worth it. If I feel worth it, then the landscape is successful. So we created all that. Then we had a kitchen. We cleaned that off with this feature of fountains. Then we have used a lot of GRC there to hide the parking areas and all that. And as you can see in this picture, then there was some lawn area which is used as a party for the high tea area for during the session of the marriages. And then you can see these bungalows on the left hand side and the passage connecting the bungalows very close to it. So we have redesigned this entire space, and we created those passages away from the bungalow and created nice private gardens, and we created about 9 different pergolas purposely, so let people get confused where to sit, and as they sit they would walk less, so the lawn is well protected. So basically you have to think about all those aspects as a designer, how a common man will think, and then you have to design accordingly. So we created this space. Then there was an old building next to this which has been broken down, and then I suggested the client to create a large swimming pool there. So we created that with cabanas along the edge of it, and there was a pool bar next to that. So the entire composition works well with the high tea area. Then we have been also offered a terrace garden which is around 12,000 square feet, but unfortunately the clients had already covered the terrace, and they asked us to design this, and they told me we will have a morning breakfast or a dinner there for the marriage. So we worked on that, and then we created this entire thing where you can see there are a lot of plants all around, and people would be surrounded with the plants. Generally people have an attitude to touch the plant and see whether they are real or artificial. So whatever is touchable, where all your hand can go is all natural, where all your hand cannot go is artificial. Like these trees are artificial, these hangings are artificial, and we have hanged about 33 pergolas so that the entire screen and the shade can be well hidden. That was the entire purpose. Now I'll just take you to another project of Welspun City, which is an industrial project. This is the biggest project we did. This is 1,000 acres in Anjar, Kutch. We have did the landscape for them. Basically this is an entrance space frame we designed for them, which is about 46 feet in height and around 150 feet in length. And this is a very bold mark which is visible from almost 2 kilometers radius, because Anjar is a very flat terrain, no mountains, nothing. So that becomes a mark of identification. Basically they appointed us to get rid of water, because they have a lot of water. They are into terry towels, dyeing and washing. They create about 1 crore liter water every day. With the plantation of extensive trees and marshy trees, we consumed about 85 lakh liters, but 15 lakh liters per day was left over. So finally we suggested them to go for evaporation ponds. We created these evaporation ponds. We just excavated on the ground for about 3 to 4 feet and dumped the water there. This is the same water which is muddy red in color, but with the reflection of sky, it looks beautiful blue. And with that, such a huge water body, the ecosystem started developing. A lot of birds have started coming in for water, because the average rainfall in this place is just 2 inches. which also takes place sometime, some year or some year it doesn't take place. We had to find out this way because the soil is a heavy clay. So if you just throw a bucket of water on it, it remains there for 2-3 days. And being a treated water, they cannot discharge it. So they had to find a way out. So here the landscape comes as a solution for rectifying the problem. So it's a problem-driven landscape, you can say. This is another project where we talk about a religious project. We have been associated with Bohra community in India, and we did their projects in Iraq also. And we have been associated with Jain community in India for their temple landscape. So this is a project where we see 25 acres of an area, and you can see the road, which is around 30 feet higher than the site, and we drive down, come to the office. So we thought we can offer something nice for people coming to the office area. So we did this entire flower, which is 180 feet in diameter, almost covering one area of 1 acre. And the beauty of this flower is all colors what you see are all natural colors and all are foliage colors. We have not taken any flowering thing because we are in a subtropical zone, so flowering would happen about 3 to 4 months. So instead of doing that, relying on that, we have relied on the foliage color, and then the lighting also added to that. This is the entire on the shrine on the right hand side. The entire landscape is irrigated with sprinklers and drips. We can see the lawn moving down. How the landscape can add a value to the project. Here you can see the building is ready. Even the curtains in place and the entire painting is done. But the landscape is yet to start. So this is before doing the landscape. This is after doing the landscape. So the entire active landscape has been added to it with the play courts, skating ring, children's play areas and all that. And some more images of that. We had a couple of coconut trees over there, and as the development was happening, we had a lot of earth excavated. So we just arranged the earth around the coconut palms. So one feels that the palms have been planted over the mount, but it was other way around, as you can see in the lower photograph. This is another building where basically for the NRI pilgrims. So generally they come on their own or maybe with the spouse. They generally don't bring their children every time. So we thought of having a visual landscape here. So this was done. Being in Rajasthan, the colors are very bright and you can take advantage of it. If I'll put down the same combination in Mumbai, I will not get this contrast because we are in a coastal area. So the temperature variation is less and hence the color contrast will be less. So always you should try to understand the local climate and use the plants accordingly. We are also been one of the only few landscape architects doing the landscape mock-ups for exhibitions like Estate, Host, Times of India. Here the limitation is basically we can use only those products where the participants have taken an participation in the exhibition. Like you cannot randomly take any product. So in this was done in 2006 for Host. One of the products was the club car. So we created this tree and we display the club car there. So all these participants like interlocking blocks, pebbles, lawn, like planting contractor and all that were the participants of the exhibition, and we do that. This is the same year like we have used a portable fountain as a landscape element. You can see the stalls at the back and the product has been used here. So one gets a clear identity of the product, how to use that. This is with the pivot, how you can do a circle without cutting a square type. That was the theme what we worked on, and we worked with pivot that year. This is a green wall we've done for economic times. These are a green wall in 2006 we did, and there's a crossover fountain. You can walk through the fountain and you won't get wet. These are some more exhibition images. This was done for Aztec in 2010. That was a food court we did for about 8,000 square feet in Goregaon. This is the project of Sivana Farms where we have done the entire project architecture and landscape. Sivana means basically a free thinking. So we did the entrance with these kites. So it's a symbolical entry. When you are here in the project, you are like a kite. You can enjoy to the max possible, and there is no limitation to you. You can fly the way you want. So this is a symbolical entry which has been done, and we have done 132 farmhouses, and we tried to give a different identity to each of the farmhouse by using a different planting. So I should always be envy about the neighbor, the tree what they has, I don't have. So that happens, and that brings the identity to each bungalow and each farmhouse. We did design the entire club for them. Then this is the pool which has been designed. And this is all completed by 2006 where the TRI norms came in. And our project has been shortlisted for an advertise for Sony Home Pack. I'll just run the ad.
You love me. You love me. You love me, man. You love me. You love me. प्रेम की परीक्षा का परिणाम अगर पता तो भी दिल की धड़कनें जो है बढ़ती रहती है। जैसे इस वक्त मेरी धड़कन ये सोच कि इन आने वाले दिनों में आपके और हमारे रिश्ते का क्या होगा। मेरी तरफ से दुआ है आपके यहाँ होनी चाहिए।
That's all from us. Thank you very much.